I'm Julia, and this is prenatal yoga for symphysis, pubis dysfunction. Just do what you can. We'll try to make sure that the movements are easy on the pelvis. We'll be doing it seated in a chair for that reason, so we don't have to get up and down. And if you have any blocks or pillows, those can be useful, but definitely not necessary. All you need is a chair or maybe a couch if you like to lie on the couch for Shavasana at the end. All right, getting started, finding a comfortable seated position in a chair. Just take a moment, kind of shifting your weight forward and back. Notice how that feels. And then try to find a place where you're fairly centered, rib cage over top of your pelvis, as long as that feels comfortable. Closing your eyes or focusing on something on the floor, just a few feet ahead of you. Coming into a little bit of stillness here. Maybe take a moment, let's inhale to raise the shoulders up towards the ears. And exhale to let them melt and drop down. Do that 2 more times. Inhaling up. Last time. So coming to a place of stillness for a moment here, just to connect to your body, connect to your baby. If you like to place a hand on your belly or maybe a hand on your heart and one on your belly, a few different options, whatever's most comfortable for you. Hands may stay down on the legs or the chair. And then just start to breathe here. Notice your breath under your hands or just the sensation in your hands, in your chest. Bringing your awareness to your belly and to your baby. Maybe just a little hello here. Hi, baby. We're going to take the next moments, a little chunk of time here for yourself and for your baby to connect and just find a bit of movement and hopefully a little bit of relief. Keeping softness around the face, around the eyes. Keep breathing here for a few more moments. Trying to bring your awareness to your breath as the practice progresses, especially if you notice that your mind starts to wander into the future or into the past. See if you can bring it back to the present moment by focusing on that breath. And you can keep your hands there if you like, or return them to your legs or the chair. Drawing our attention now down towards our pelvic floor. Very important for supporting the pelvic region. On your inhale, just try to relax a little bit, release, kind of bottoming out here. And then as you inhale, you're drawing up through the center, as if you're drawing up on a spider web, and you're drawing the center of that web upwards. And then inhaling again to release. So a little rebounding effect, like a trampoline. Exhaling, you feel it draw upwards, maybe the low belly, kind of supporting your baby inwards at the same time. Inhaling to release. So continuing this way at your own pace, with your own breath. We all breathe at different spaces, and different points in our pregnancy, our breath, our lung capacity will be different. So just knowing that those breath patterns may not match what I'm explaining in class, and that's great. Just work with yours, please. So we'll do a few more of those. If you like the visual of drawing a ping pong ball upwards in through the vagina, you can do that. And then releasing. Very gentle movements, not a clamping or a gripping down in any way. And then just letting that go, we'll exhale to drop our chins into our chest. And then inhale, slowly take your head over to the right side. We'll exhale, drop your chin back into your chest. And inhale over to the left side. So we'll do this a couple times, back and forth, just moving with your breath. And nice and soft around the jaw. knowing that the jaw and the throat is directly related to the pelvic floor and the way that you are able to open, especially during labor and delivery. So thinking about relaxing that area, nice and open in that area. Whatever side you get to next, we'll just stay there for a couple of breaths. Breathing into that space, opening up the neck. You might even reach the opposite hand out to the side, reaching your fingertips towards the floor, or maybe holding onto the edge of your chair. Still sitting fairly tall in the chair as you stretch to the side. And then if you'd like, you might turn your head a little bit away from the opposite shoulder. Maybe drop your head forward. So just playing around in your neck and noticing where there may be any tight spaces that you'd like to breathe into for a moment. And then we'll slowly let that go. We'll come over to the other side, just starting here for a moment, relaxing both of your shoulders. Continuing to breathe, eyes are open or closed, whatever is most comfortable. Jaw is relaxing. And then if you'd like to reach the opposite hand now, away from the ear, away from the shoulder. Again, those shoulders are dropping down. Shoulder blades gliding down your back gently. You might hold on to your chair. And you might want to explore different areas of the neck on that side. So I'll leave that up to you. Just check in and notice what your body needs. Continuing to breathe. Noticing ever if it starts to get shallow, bringing your awareness back to your breath. Especially if anything is a point of a bit of fear or discomfort for you, seeing if you can bring it back to your breath, trying not to hold your breath through these situations. And then we'll slowly release the neck, come back to the center. We'll just take a couple of shoulder rolls. Let all that go. Horse lips, great one for releasing the jaw and the throat. So anytime if you feel the need, I encourage you to do that. A little bit of a twist here, just very, very gentle, depending on where you are in your pregnancy. You can cross one hand over to the opposite knee or thigh, and then just start to turn your chest. Maybe turn your head. You don't have to look all the way back, and you might just stay looking forward. So just finding a little bit of a twist in the upper body in particular. Still breathing here. Feel your chest lifting. And then next time you exhale, we'll slowly release, and we'll just go across to the other side. Again, that lift, you're sitting tall right over the center of your pelvis. You might turn your head back, but that's totally optional. And then we'll slowly come back to the center. So a little bit more through the torso. We'll raise one arm up. Exhale, just to gently bend off to the side. You can use your other hand for some support here so that you're keeping that length going upwards and over. If you like, you might even look up underneath your armpit, lifting your chest slightly. And then leading through that top arm, we'll come all the way back up. Let that arm float down. Next time you inhale, other arm comes up, big inhale. And then exhale, just gently bend over to the other side. It's your choice how deep you want to go. Try to relax both your shoulders while you're there though. Again, maybe looking upwards. And then slowly coming back to center. So from here, coming fairly close to the edge of your chair, we'll go into a hamstring stretch. You can straighten one leg out away from you. This is where those blocks might come in handy if you have some. You could prop up your heel a little bit, or maybe put some pillows underneath, or even if you have another chair, you might extend that leg onto another chair. So there are options. You can also keep your foot on the floor. From here, we'll just gently start to be leaning forward. You might keep your hands on the chair. We want to keep a relatively straight spine here. It's almost as if you're lifting your tail out behind you. Again, only if that feels comfortable for you. And then just breathing here into that length. Depending on how high your leg is propped, you may feel more or less sensation through the back of the leg. And if at any time there's discomfort in the back of the knee, you're bending your knee a little bit to ease off. So just breathing here, getting that length through the spine and that length through the leg. Noticing if your thoughts start to wander, see if you can bring it back to your breath. Noticing each breath, probably slightly different. Noticing the length of the exhale and the length of the inhale. Right, we'll slowly come back up, alternating sides. Depending on how you feel, you might turn a little bit, depending on how large your belly is as well, so that you can avoid that one knee. But it just depends where you are in your pregnancy and how your pelvis is feeling as well. Wherever you are, trying to find some length in the spine. So right out the top of your head, your top of your head is reaching away from that tailbone at the back. You're keeping the jaw and the face as soft as you can. And if you can, throughout this practice, try to avoid any kind of stories. And by that I mean, if you're experiencing pelvic pain, try to stop your mind from wandering off and going down those routes, those roads of this is happening, oh, why is this happening to me, and this is so uncomfortable, things like that. See if you can just bring it back to your breath again. And so that's what I mean about staying in the present moment. Just experiencing that breath in and out, in and out. And this can also be a useful tool during the delivery process, the labor process, if you choose to use it. All right, slowly walking yourself up. From here, you can take your hands just behind you on the chair and start to lift your chest, a little bit of extension here. Try to feel your shoulders starting to roll and slide onto your back. It's as if your shoulder blades are gently gliding in towards your spine. And from there, you're just gently lifting your chest. You might look up. If it feels good, you might even let your head drop all the way back. Wherever you are, try to imagine there's a string just attached to your sternum, your breastbone, lifting you upwards or really opening across the heart and the chest. And again, just see if you can take a few deep breaths into this area, this upper area that's not occupied by baby right now. And then we'll slowly release, coming back to center. Whew. So we're coming to standing, so take your time. A few options here. We'll just be doing some squats to keep that strengthening through the legs and the glutes. We're going to inhale to come down and exhale to stand up, driving through your heels and feeling that strengthening through the quads and through the glutes. Now, if it doesn't feel okay for you to be standing there and to come all the way down with your weight onto the chair, I welcome and encourage you to come to the back of the chair, which we'll all be moving to afterwards. You can do your squats from there. You can come as low as you like. Exhale to drive up. So just working in a range that feels okay for you. It might be very small. You may not be squatting at all. You may want to stay seated or just find a standing position. Just noticing how it feels to ground down through your feet. And to breathe. So we'll do one more of those. Warming up, activating a little bit through the backside, knowing those glutes are supporting us quite a bit. And then coming to standing. If you are at the front of your chair, I welcome you to come around to the back. Placing your feet where it's comfortable for you, maybe about hip distance apart. Wherever you are, try to spread those toes nice and wide here. Just balancing, grounding down into the ground, standing here.
Now, often during pregnancy, we start to shift our hips forward quite a bit and lean our chest back as our belly and our weight moves forward quite a bit. I'd like you to try to start to shift your hips back a little bit so that they're lined up over top of your heels. It's going to relieve a little bit through the low back. And I encourage the internal abdominals to engage a little bit and support you a little bit more. So during the day, if you can remember to do that, to try to shift your weight back into your heels, that might help out through your posture and post-pregnancy as well during recovery. So from there, you're welcome to stay standing, or we'll go into a quad stretch from here. So you'll just be lifting one knee, holding onto that foot, and then standing and breathing here. Again, feeling that weight shift back slightly. You can use the chair for balance, or if you'd like a little more of an option, kind of our dancer's pose, modified form, pregnant form, you might be lifting one arm up overhead, focusing on something on the floor again, just breathing. Or you might even have your hand on your baby or your belly for a little bit of support there, just a little bit of connection. So finding that breath there. Driving down through that bottom heel and feeling the top of your head reaching a little bit higher, so you're growing just a tiny bit taller. We'll take one more breath here, and then slowly we'll release. A little shift, and we'll go to the other side when you're ready. Checking in, taking a moment to find your balance, thinking pelvic floor as well. So that exhale to slightly engage, and then keeping it gently engaged as you continue to breathe will really help out with your balance here as well. Weight shifts back into your heels slightly. You grow a little bit taller, and if you'd like that challenge with the top arm, you may raise it, maybe even making a mudra with your hand. And then just breathing here. Noticing the sensation in your quad, opening up the front of the hip. Maybe supporting and just connecting with baby as well. Noticing your breath. And then slowly we will let that go. From here, let's take our left foot and cross it over in front of our right. If that does not feel comfortable for you, stay in a straight parallel standing position. We'll all raise our left hand up, and then exhale, we'll just gently side bend over to the side. So now opening a little more deeply through that whole side of the body. Again, you might think about lifting your chest a little bit. You might even look up under that hand and that shoulder. If you feel that you need more support or you'd like a challenge, so it's much more tricky with the balance, you may bring your hand to your belly or to your hip, but that's entirely optional and it's much trickier. Continue to breathe into that side body now, into the rib cage. And then slowly bring yourself back up. We'll release the arm, we'll uncross the legs, and then we'll go to the other side. So taking a moment to figure out where your feet are and finding your balance there. This time raising the right arm up overhead, whether you stay in parallel or you cross your legs. A little bit of a squeeze through those legs if they are crossed, just activating the inner line. Reaching taller, and then exhale to start to bend off to the side. Relaxing through the shoulders. Maybe a little option releasing the chair. Totally up to you. If you'd like to look upwards, stay with your breath. Notice your pelvic floor again here for that support anytime we're balancing, anytime we're upright. And then very slowly, we'll release, bringing that arm down. You might even take a little shake out. Woo. It can be a nice release if it feels okay to shake a little bit through the body. Just letting everything flow, move, shake it off, shake it off. From here, you'll walk your feet a little bit farther back, staying at about a parallel hip distance apart or whatever is comfortable. And from there, just start to sink your knees quite a bit forward, as long as that feels comfortable for you, so that we get a little more of the stretch through
the calf area, trying to keep your heels driving down. We'll just stay here for a moment. It's a little bit of work for those quads too. So breathing here, maybe into the calf and the Achilles area. Particularly if you experience any kind of calf cramps or anything during pregnancy, it can be nice to release them this way. Another way to help with those calf cramps is actually to do a few calf raises. So might be counterintuitive, doing a little bit of work there, but it can get the blood flowing, move any kind of lactic acid or anything that's building up there. So we'll just do a couple more of those. And then a bit of a deeper stretch and a nice release for the pelvis. Now walk our feet back, dropping our chest down as far as feels comfortable for you here. So taking the weight right out of the pelvis, letting your belly drop forward, thinking about your tailbone pressing back away from your head. Arms are supporting you here, but you can really let it drop down, just getting that stretch a little bit through your armpits and through the chest here too. If it feels good, you might bend your knees a little bit, or you may start to draw maybe some circles with your hips. Again, only if that movement is something in the range that is comfortable for you. Maybe reversing the direction. So a little bit of intuitive play here. I encourage you to just find any movement that does feel good for you. It might just be a shift of the hips to one side, so you get more stretch in one side. And it might just be staying still. If you're earlier on in your pregnancy, you might even want to come a little bit farther forward into a forward fold, if that belly's not in the way, or if it feels okay for you to widen your legs a little bit, you might be able to get a bit deeper, but that's completely optional. There's just a lot of support with your hands on the chair. It's a nice place to stay too. Notice here how it feels to breathe. A little bit of that pressure and that weight taken out of the internal body. See if you can breathe into your back body, below your shoulder blades. See if you can relax your head. You can let it drop all the way down. You can let your neck go. You can let your jaw go. And then from here, just slowly starting to lift up. Use your arms for support. We'll start to walk our feet forward. Just take a moment here. Again, just rolling out, adjusting as we need. And we'll head into either a seated meditation here, or if you would like to lie down, you feel comfortable to get down, or to even lie sideways on your couch or on a couch, you can do that for Shavasana as well. So as you're ready, maybe a blanket over your legs, just getting yourself comfortable. You might feel supported, propped up with a pillow behind you. Just take a moment to make sure that you are comfortable. And when you're ready, just coming to that seated position, you might close your eyes. And we're going to check back in here, checking back in with baby, back in with yourself, back in with your breath. So as you're breathing here, start to draw your awareness down to baby. You can imagine that there's a speck of light in the center of baby, in baby's heart and baby's chest. It's a warm summer or spring kind of light. And it's starting to grow. It brings peace, brings warmth, brings relaxation and freedom from any pain or discomfort or worry or anxiety. Complete release. And as that light grows, it envelops baby. So your belly is full of this light. You feel that softness starting to emanate outwards into your body. Maybe your shoulders relax a little more. Maybe you have a smile on your face. So you can see baby is happy as can be. You may not know their features yet, but you can feel this joy starting to radiate farther and farther outwards. It fills your heart, emanates down your legs and up through the top of your head. And from there it continues to reach outwards. And you see this light, this glowing ball of light continue to grow and grow, filling the room that you're in, the space that you occupy. And it continues to grow in your house or your apartment, wherever you are, out into the streets, into your town, your city, all the spaces in between, to Mother Nature, eventually starting to grow and glow as large as the globe. The world over is glowing, and it continues to go. You just see this light growing and growing and growing to outer space and the planets beyond. And you're just basking in this light. See if you can stay here with this visual of baby in this light, yourself, surrounded and filled with this warm summer light. Breathing that in and just noticing how that feels. Noticing the release. Staying with your breath. If your mind starts to wander, just bring it back to that light. Try to breathe it in. Bring it back to your breath. If you are comfortable and wish to stay longer, please do. If you'd like to bring your awareness back to the room, just notice the sounds around you. Notice baby one more time. Maybe bring both your hands together at heart center for a moment, just bowing your head. Taking a moment to thank yourself for making the time for your practice today. Maybe to thank Babe for sharing in your practice today. The power in me bows to the power in you. Namaste.